Alright, to do your hip roof style, first you need your walls. So type in REC to make a rectangle. 10,000 tab 6,000. Once you make your internal wall, you offset it outside by 150. So we don't limit the size of our internal walls. Then we offset this external wall by 450 to get the distance of our fascia. Then offset our internal fascia by 25 to get the distance between our fascia. Then we can just make that our facial layer. Once that is made our facial layer, we get our center line and we are going to focus on the midpoint of the internal fascia, drag it all the way over to the midpoint of our other internal fascia. Once we have done that, we can offset the center line by 25 on both sides to get the distance of our ridge. Now that we have our ridge, we can now focus on our hip rafter. We go to this intersection of lines right here, the midpoint where both lines intersect, click, and polar tracking is on. So you're supposed to see a green line and the angle should say 135 degrees. So we're going to carry that 135 degrees to the center line. I'm going to do that for down here as well. Come down to the intersection and make sure that it is 135 degrees. Connect that up. Next, we're going to offset both these lines by 25 on both sides to get the width of our hip rafters. We can simply just change these to hip rafters layer. After we're finished changing these to hip rafters, we're going to do the break feature. So we're going to type in BR for break. Hold down left click and drag. So now this line is broken from this line. I'm going to do the same thing for up here. BR, left click and drag. So now both these lines are broken from these both lines. So we can just drag back this line to the hip rafter. Or if you want, you can just trim it off. Then we can make this line our king common rafter. Once we make that our king common rafter, we then switch to our ridge layer and we close off our ridge just like that. And we extend our king common rafter to the line. Once we finish extending the king common rafter to the line, we can just trim off all this excess inside here, because we do not need all this excess inside the ridge because the hip rafter ends at the ridge. Next, you select your king common rafter right here and you explode this internal fascia So you press X to explode. So now you go on path array, make sure you click the down arrow, path array, select path curve, you select up here. Now you should see a line pop up down here. If you don't see the line pop up down here, if it pops up over here, here, or here, you simply delete it. For the between, you set it to 600, and then you count off your items to the internal fascia. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need 6. Wait, we actually need 5 because this is actually outside the craft. So we're gonna select the blue item so we can change the amount we need. Set it to 5. Then we explode the path array. Select these lines right here and make sure that they're set to rafter. Then we select this line right here, this aircraft line. Then we select our trim feature and trim off the excess. After we finish trimming off the excess for this, we simply select all our rafters, press MI for mirror, select our center line right here. By any point on the center line, select and then switch it around so it mirrors on this side. After we finish mirroring and complete this side, all we need to do is select everything, including the center line. Go over here, but do not select this center line over here. Select everything but that center line. After we finish selecting everything except for this center line, we press MI to mirror, and then we find the midpoint of our center line. Once you find the midpoint of our center line, you just simply pull up and don't erase source material. Next, you're going to need to put a center line in the middle. So find the midpoint, the center line, and then draw the center line to the internal point of the fascia. Once you're finished doing that, all you need to do is select all these lines right here, King common rafter and all the normal rafters, and press MI to mirror, selecting this point right here and dragging it over. Then simply select all of these rafters and King common rafter, then press M to move, selecting this line right here and dragging it down to right here. Once we've done that, we've got one of our first parts of this. Now simply we can just mirror these MI mirror, selecting our center line to mirror onto this side. Make sure that now all that needs to be done is offset to create our remaining rafters up here and then mirror down to here. So we're going to select this line right here, this King common rafter. I'm going to select path array once more. Make sure that's on path grid. For the selected path grid, you select the ridge right here. You're gonna see a bunch of things pop up. Remember, between is 600 and count how much you need. One, two, three, four. You need four. So select your items and make four. Once you've made that four, you can explode this and make these your normal rafters. Then do the same thing on this side. Now, once you have done that on both sides, all you need to do is select all of these lines up here, including all your rafters and king command rafters. You don't need to select the center line, and then mirror all of this onto the other side. Make sure that you don't erase this material. Then, once you have done that, you just close off. You just select your bridge right here, collapse it down to right here, the end of the hip rafter. Same thing for the other side. And then bring your line from and connect it up. Here is both these center lines, and there you go. You have your hip roof.